An update on the speculation surrounding the ring and the size of it at AEW Grand Slam Australia. Was the original ring meant to be shipped over? Did it get lost? Did they not factor that in? Did they have to borrow a ring from somebody else, courtesy of Kyle Fletcher? We'll let you know all the news and discourse surrounding this on social media. AJ Styles comes to the defense of Road Dogg after he was announced as the new co-writer for SmackDown. An update on the possibility of Demolition being added to the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025. What is the minimum salary for WWE talent in 2025? We'll let you know about that. Ricky Starks, if that's his name, is set to sign his NXT contract on Tuesday. More matches have been confirmed for AEW Revolution, and AEW will be returning to Australia in 2026. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with all of this chatter about the size of the ring at AEW Grand Slam Australia. Of course, the event took place over the weekend in Brisbane. It was broadcast later on in the evening on Saturday. But a thing that many people have been discussing about, and a rumor that has been spreading like wildfire on social media, is the size of the ring. Now, this story begins with a post from an account called The Death of AEW, in which they reported and tweeted out, quote, "I just got a report alleging that Kyle Fletcher got his buddies to loan AEW one of the local indie rings for AEW Grand Slam Australia show. Apparently, AEW didn't factor in freight times properly for Brisbane travel. The ring is 16 by 16, way smaller than normal, and the ring aprons aren't a proper fit. If this is true, Tony, that being AEW President, CEO, Head of Creative Tony Khan, should be ashamed." Now, as one can expect with things on social media, this then spread around with many people, depending on where they fall on the side of the tribalistic divide seemingly, that wanted to say whether this was true or not. However, this looks to be not the case and a bit of fake news, because no, AEW, according to multiple reports, did not forget to ship a ring over. For some reason, as I mentioned, the discourse on social media following AEW Grand Slam was that AEW didn't properly factor freight times properly for Brisbane and the company had to get loaned a ring. Well, as it turns out, that seemingly was a lie, and it's another case of that. Now, yes, AEW, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, typically uses a 20 by 20 ring in the United States and doesn't ship their rings overseas. There was no instance of forgetting the ring, not planning freight or anything like that. The plan was always to use an 18 by 18 ring. This is the same size used by TNA. It was also used by Ring of Honor, ECW, WCW, and virtually every prominent indie company. Most AEW talent actually came up, and most wrestling talent, unless they were exclusively trained by the likes of WWE at the Performance Center, came up using an 18 by 18 ring, maybe even smaller. Now, WWE traditionally has their own rings that are actually stored overseas as opposed to having them shipped over. They're stored locally in whatever country or a nearby country, and then they're used when they do overseas tours. Whether or not the ring used on Grand Slam was the one that AEW had planned on renting or using, according to multiple reports, we don't know, but it was always planned to be an 18 by 18 ring. The ring aprons and everything else were scaled appropriately. Now, AEW has actually also used an 18 by 18 ring in the United States in the past, including for the Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa AEW Women's World Championship cage match. So no, this wasn't a case of the ring not being factored in for freight times or anything like that. It was always the plan for them to use a local ring. Now, a bit of an update here when it comes to Road Dogg this weekend. There was a report that Road Dogg is the brand new co-lead writer for SmackDown, and because of his last time at the head of chief writer role for SmackDown around sort of 2016, 2017, there was lots of people being concerned about this. But one person has come to his defense, the person that was the WWE champion at the time that Road Dogg was previously the head writer, AJ Styles. Now, AJ Styles has defended Brian Road Dogg James from criticism following the news he's been named the new co-lead writer for WWE Friday Night SmackDown. On X, AJ Styles suggested that before people criticize the WWE Hall of Famer for his history as a lead writer, they should remember that this was during a different regime in WWE history. This is, in fact, not Road Dogg's first time as SmackDown chief writer. He held the job prior to WrestleMania 35 in 2019. AJ Styles was the WWE champion for nearly a year during this time. Of course, though, that was during the Vince McMahon regime of WWE creatively, and Vince McMahon would notably make major overhauls to WWE shows until they actually went on the air, and during they were live on the air too. AJ Styles alluded to this in his defense of Road Dogg as a creative lead. Triple H is currently in charge of WWE creative. Vince McMahon is no longer with WWE. This follows the former WWE employee Janelle Grant filing a lawsuit against McMahon, WWE, and John Laurinaitis in January of 2024, accusing McMahon of sex trafficking and sexual abuse. The lawsuit was paused for 6 months in mid-2024 as federal investigators gathered information. The lawsuit resumed in December of last year and is still active. In any case, AJ Styles is no longer on the WWE SmackDown brand. He was transferred over to Raw as the last get for WWE's flagship show as part of the transfer window. But as I mentioned, AJ Styles actually took to social media to defend Road Dogg. He actually quote tweeted out the news saying, quote, "Before judging this guy from his past performance as the head writer, just know that there was a man who picked it apart to the point that it was no longer his ideas anymore." Now, could finally Demolition be going into the WWE Hall of Fame? On February 12th last week, PW Insider reported that Axe and Smash, as well as Demolition, could finally be able to be licensed by WWE for merchandise and things in games and what have you. Now, this isn't the first time this has happened, as they were in the WWE 12 video game and have had action figures from WWE in the past. However, a first would be the WWE Hall of Fame, which has had a glaring omission of the once record-breaking tag team. Now, Fightful Select are reporting they have been told that under the current regime, the three-time WWF Tag Team Champions have been brought up as potential inductees. Now, Fightful said they've not heard if it's been nailed down or anything like that. Now, they've also not been told if Crush, portrayed by Bryan Adams, was considered a part of the group for the Hall of Fame. Crush was a member of Demolition for a year and ended up spending about 6 years total in WWE. He was a member of the Nation of Domination, the NWO, and the hugely popular WCW Tag Team Champion Chronic as well. Now, an update also when it comes to minimum salary pay in WWE. As of 3 years ago, Triple H had noted that the minimum amount earned in WWE for a Raw or SmackDown superstar was $250,000 per year. Fightful Select are reporting that number has increased significantly in recent years. When Fightful was asked about the financial security of wrestlers in a recent Q&A, it was echoed Triple H's previous claim, but they have been contacted by numerous talent and those who helped nail the deals down. The claim has been that the minimum these days is $350,000 per year. Now, it's worth noting that while airfare is covered for WWE main roster talent, hotels and rental cars are usually not. Each deal is different, and there are different things negotiated into every WWE contract. Speaking of contracts, Ricky Starks is set to sign his WWE NXT contract on television this week. Ricky Starks shocked the world when he made his debut in NXT this past Tuesday, arriving in WWE's developmental brand just a day after news emerged he'd been released from AEW after months of tension between the two parties and rumors of him wanting out of the company. WWE did not reveal the ring name of Ricky Starks, with all social media posts and YouTube videos avoiding the use of the name. This was reportedly due to Starks' debut coming around so quickly that WWE were unsure where things stood in terms of trademarks. On his social media prior to the NXT Vengeance Day pre-LE over the weekend, it was revealed that Ricky Starks would be on the upcoming episode of NXT on Tuesday, February 18th, to officially sign his NXT contract. Now, Starks noted that he would be answering some questions and putting pen to paper, perhaps hinting at the fact that his name might finally be revealed. It was reported over the last 7 days that WWE had plans to debut Starks at a major NXT event later on in the year, but due to his AEW release, that changed plans, and they decided to bring him in as soon as possible. Now, 2 new matches have been confirmed for AEW Revolution, which is rapidly approaching. Revolution 2025 is the next pay-per-view on the AEW calendar as the promotion heads to the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California. And following on from AEW's trip to Australia over the weekend, some more matches have been made official for the show. The opening match of Grand Slam Australia in Brisbane saw Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay team up to take on the Don Callis family duo of international champion Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, with the babyface pairing coming out victorious. In the aftermath, the pair cut a backstage promo issuing their respective challenges for their tag team opponents. Ospreay eyed up a 4th match in the series between himself and Fletcher, challenging his former ally to a match inside of a steel cage to settle things champions once and for all. Omega issued his own challenge for Takeshita, eyeing up a match for the International Championship at Revolution. AEW announced an International Championship series in the lead-up to Revolution that will see the returning Orange Cassidy taking on Roderick Strong in singles action on Dynamite, both of whom are former international champions, with the winner then facing Takeshita for the gold on the February 26th episode of Dynamite, with the winner of that match then going on to Revolution to do battle with Omega. These two matches joined an AEW World Championship match between Jon Moxley and Cope on the Revolution card. And finally, speaking of AEW Grand Slam Australia over the weekend, AEW is returning to the country next year. Saturday, February 15th, saw AEW make the trip to Australia for the first time ever, taking over the Brisbane Entertainment Centre in Brisbane, Queensland for the Grand Slam Australia show. Although AEW initially had to change venues due to alleged low ticket sales, originally intending to host the event at Suncorp Stadium, the show saw a packed-out venue and a red-hot audience. Following the main event that saw timeless Toni Storm become the brand-new AEW Women's World Champion, AEW President Tony Khan came out to greet the Brisbane audience, firstly being showered in boos. He thanked the audience for their participation at the event, before revealing this wouldn't be the last time they came to Australia, prompting cheers from the audience. This wasn't just a vague promise, as soon after the event was officially announced on AEW's social media that the company would be returning to Australia in 2026. There was no date, venue, or show announced, but a QR code was provided for fans to sign up for a waiting list for eventual tickets. This follows AEW quickly following suit after the initial AEW All in London show in 2023, immediately announcing straight after that the company was coming back the following year. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.